I want to go back to what Krat said for a sec because yeah, it's amazing when teams try. So does tanking nowadays in baseball drive you
I
nuts
hate it.
because you wipe out a generation of fans? Like, oh
Yeah,
great, we sucked for 6 years, got draft picks, now we're going to be good for 6 years. But
yeah.
can't you figure out both?
Should be able to figure out both. It doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult. I think the promotion of individual players over the years with ESPN, all the online stuff, the just there's a lot of individual, you know, attention paid to players. I think that does take attention off the team in a way. Because when you grow up as a kid, I mean, you have your favorite players, but you had your favorite teams. You had your teams that you rooted for, regardless. I mean, I was a Tampa Bay Bucks fan when I was a kid. I grew up in Clearwater, and I love the Bucks. I still do. And I knew some of the players, but it wasn't like it is now where everything's out in your face all the time. And I just love the team. And it's the same way in New York. I think there's fans that love the team, and it's all around the game, any sport really. So if you kill a season because you're going to tank, to get a little higher draft pick so you can draft the pitcher that may or may not make it. Probably going to get TJ at some point. Uh, I don't like that. I think that's kind of I don't want to say cop out, but I just think it's kind of they can hide from that. It's too convenient of an excuse to tank games, and in all sports really, just to get a draft pick. I don't get it.
So you're killing it as fans, but as players, how do you feel like? What do you feel like the players feel like in those
Horrible,
times?
horrible. I wouldn't call this situation I'm going to describe now as tanking, but we had an opportunity, I believe, in 2009, no, 2008, excuse me. 2008, I think we were a couple games up late in the season, and we had seen a lead like similar to 2007. We had a big lead and kind of saw it shrink. 2008, the same thing was happening. We were losing the lead in the division, and we had glaring weaknesses in our bullpen. We really had no closer. I can't even tell you the guy's name that ended up closing games at the end, but we were really struggling, and we really wanted to get um, another pitcher. We needed it badly. I mean, if we would have gotten a decent reliever for the month of September, we would have won our division, I believe, hands down, and I swear by that. And they even asked us. They had meetings with us, the front office, and there was a lot of information out there, and we just kind of settled on a couple of guys. We thought, yeah, these would be the ones we want to try to grab if we could, and finances really wasn't an issue, but um, nothing ever happened. They never made one trade at the trade deadline, or any of the post deadline trades. You could have picked up a guy for really nothing down the stretch. We didn't get it. So, and we ended up really pissing away a lead that we should have held on to. And it was very, very frustrating as a coach because the guys played so well all year. We really felt that we had a team that could go, but that's how good we were offensively. Uh, but our bullpen was just in tatters, and we couldn't finish a game. So we ended up collapsing.
Yeah, and you look at the team that ended up coming out of the East. That was Phillies were coming out of the East during that
Yeah.
time, and you guys were always neck and neck. How is that when that doesn't happen at the trade deadline?
Yep.
Does that bring the team together more, or does that like deflate the team? And I know you're a coach, not a player, but in that situation, but what is that dynamic like?
That's a good question. I want to say it's deflating because players when they get down to September, I mean it's a long season, so you get down to the finish line and you want to finish strong. That's every player wants to do that, except the tanking teams they don't, but players do. They want to finish strong. The team wants to finish strong as a group. But when you don't get the players or a player that you thought maybe you would get, um, certain guys are going to feel anxiety because they don't want to be the one traded or they don't want to be the one let go. But I think as a whole, I think it deflates your locker room when that doesn't happen. And when the exact opposite happens, when you do get that player, regardless of the sport, if you add the right guy down the stretch, you get an uptick from it. You get lifted up from it. It's going to help you mentally. And in a game where mental capacity and mental awareness is so huge, you damage it a little bit or you help it a little bit, it can pay real dividends quickly. Um, and it does a lot for the fan base. I mean, the fan base absolutely gets deflated when something doesn't happen. And so when it does happen, when you do get that player, it's like, wow, that's awesome. You're going for it, and you want that message sent all the time because you want to feel like your front office or the organization is 100% in the fight with you. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, okay, we're out here, stand out here naked on our own. So we're gonna bust our butts, regardless, as hard as we can play, try to get the thing done, get to the finish line. But I mean, we're professionals. That's what we do. But still, I think from an emotional standpoint, it's a kind of a gut punch.
We're stepping aside for a quick sec to shout out our partnership with Shady Rays. And we're also going to show off some of the FT fam rocking the shades. AJ thinks he's an agent whenever he puts those on, and Locane's loving what he's got. I mean, here's the deal, okay? You're probably paying way too much cash for your sunglasses. And Shady Rays is here with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. They've got you covered. These are quality shades. They are built to last, and they offer the most ridiculous protection plan. I mean that in a good way. In all of eyewear, every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements protection. If you lose your pair, if you break your pair, even the first day you get it, like you take it out and then you're like, I don't know where I put it right away. They told us they'll send a brand new pair, no questions asked. So you can wear them with confidence because they've got your back. That's why we're such a big fan of what they're doing over there. And of course, they're also providing much needed support to nonprofit partners across the United States through the Shady Rays Impact Program. So we're also going to announce exclusively for Foul Territory watchers and listeners and Legends Territory and Fair Territory, anyone in the Foul Territory fam, Shady Rays giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com, use the code FOUL, FOUL, all caps, please, for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And if you get them, post a pic, send them to us on our Foul Territory socials so we can tell AJ and maybe Locane that you guys look even better than they do. So make sure you get yourself a pair.